Welcome. Today we are going to flow with the Sefirah of Gevurah in mind. And whereas Chesed is outward giving, a flow that is more infused with openness and expansion, Gevurah is an inward focused perspective. So instead of expanding, it's the attribute of contracting. So whereas Hesed is more about the flexibility and the fluidity and the creativity, a Gevurah practice is more about strength. It's more inward focus. It's more self-reflective. It's more about repetition and structure. So let's get started by coming onto the knees and lifting up onto the heels. So sitting the sit bones on the heels as a way to open the backs of the feet. Now, if this becomes intense at all, option to come onto the tops of the feet is fine. But one of the purposes of coming up here, of course, stretching the back of the arch and opening through the connective tissue is great. But for our awareness, this practice is a way of creating sensitivity and a directed focus. So see if you can build up awareness in the backs of the feet so that when we come off of the feet, we can still pour the awareness there. Let's bring the hands to the tops of the thighs, roll the shoulders back and down, and hug the navel in to the back of the spine. Lift through the crown of the head and begin to arrive, taking deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose or the mouth. Each breath brings you deeper into your practice, into yourself today. And although I am guiding you in this practice to really make it a Gevurah practice, I want you to tune me out visually and start to gaze at your own body and follow your own rhythms. So through repetition of flow, I'm hoping that you'll be able to tap into your own self and be your own teacher, your own guide. I also want to challenge you throughout this practice to close the eyes when you can. And in doing so, when we remove the vision, we actually heighten the inward sensations and the inward sensitivities. And that's why the patriarch connected with Gevurah is Yitzhak, is Isaac. Because whereas Abraham, who's Chesed, went out to bring people closer to God, to love other people, he had his tent open, and he was a giver, went out to others. Yitzhak went inwards, and his mission was to uncover his neshama, which is why he dug wells. The visual of a well is to go deeper and deeper, removing the rocks, removing the dirt, uncovering the water, the neshama, life-giving waters below. So as we go through this practice, let's be well diggers like Yitzhak and go deeper and deeper into ourselves. All right, let's come up, lift the hips, give the soles of the feet a nice straight flexion and then extension. So tops of the feet, extend the right leg all the way out. So the right heel is in line with the right hip. Slide the right hand down and inhale the fingertips up and over, gazing to the left. So in our sacred cosmic cube, there's a concept of the Sefirot being surrounded around us, embracing us, encompassing us. According to the divine cube, the arrangement of the Sefirot, Gevurah is to the left. So let's gaze to the left, extend through the left side body. Gesturing to the left was a Kabbalistic meditation. If one wished to enter into more Gevurah territory, or if someone's praying for more Gevurah, they would look to the left. And although Gevurah is often translated as strength and restraint and restriction, sometimes it could seem negative. But we all need a healthy amount of Gevurah, which is a sense of structure and boundaries, commitment and vision, especially in our yoga practice. So let's sweep the hand up and over. Inhale the right hand up and over to the right. Nice long body stretch. Sink into that right outer foot. And then lift back up using the strength of your core, hands to the hips. And simply switch legs. So the left leg will come out, extend off of that left hip, plant through the left outer heel, and slide the left hand down to the top of the shin. Right hand comes up and over, stretching through the side body. So in our practice, we need to have a balance of the fluidity and creativity of chesed, the flexibility, with the strength and structure and commitment of Gevurah. Sweep the hand over, plant the right hand parallel to that right knee. Keep stamping into the outer left edge of heel. Lift fingertips up and over. Nice long body stretch. Nice, we'll come back up towards the hips, facing forward. We'll rock forward to hands and knees, and we'll lift right up into a plank. So fortify through the shoulders to the wrists. Engage the core and press back into the heels. So here we're activating the strength, lifting the tops of thighs. But where is there unnecessary strength, maybe an excess of Gevurah, that we can soften? Perhaps around the temples, or the jaw, or the toes and fingers, eye sockets. So every posture we can ask these two questions. Where can I increase the contraction of the muscles, engage and strengthen? And where can I reduce this excess Gevurah to soften? Now let's lower halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, peel it back. Find your deep breaths. Let every breath bring you deeper and deeper into your center. And let's bring the feet a few inches towards the heels. We'll take that right arm and wrap it around the left shin. Gaze to the left. Pull the torso towards that left leg as you gaze up. Nice. Set the hand back down. Other side. Left hand, wrap it around the right shin. Pull the torso to the right, but keep sinking that right heel down. Gaze to the sky. Bring palms back to the front. And then we'll inhale, right leg reaches high. Keep the hips level. So the top of the thighs facing down. Gaze forward and step the right foot all the way through. Lower the hips into a low lunge as you look forward. And this gaze forward is a real strength of Gevurah. Because Gevurah is having a vision and sticking to it and being committed to the end goal. So the shepherdess and the prophetess of Gevurah is Miriam. And Miriam is famous for having her vision, her prophecy, and sticking to it no matter what, being steadfast and having the strength to fight for it. So gaze forward with Gevurah, and then lift the hips up, straighten the legs, pyramid pose as the torso lengthens over the right leg. Now here it's easy to flop into the pose, but can we activate Gevurah by hugging the hips together and then squeezing the feet towards each other? Nice. And that Gevurah in the low body allows us to lengthen through the torso and crown. Deep, steadfast breaths. And then bend the right knee, step the left foot to meet the right, forward folds. Gently rocking right and left. Gazing inwards like Yitzhak the well digger. He was always looking to go deeper and deeper. And that's why, whereas Abraham dug many different wells, Yitzhak would redig the same wells. Within us, we have these pools of water that are always there, and sometimes there's just dirt, there's just dust that needs to be swept away to come deeper into ourselves. Sink the hips and inhale up to a chair pose. So make the toes nice and light, reach high through the fingertips. Steady inhale, steady exhale. Nice. Inhale, straighten hands high. And exhale, hands to the hips. Let's shift the weight into the left foot. Right knee lifts. So the right heel is hovering under the right knee. Shifting weight into that left leg. Strengthening. And then gently tilt the knee outwards. Feel that hip flexor. And keep hugging the hips towards each other. Pulling the navel in and up. And swipe it forward. Keep that right foot flexed. Keep the vision locked forward for balance. And inhale, swipe it open. One more. Bring it forward. And open through the hip. Hover that foot over the inner thigh like you're setting up for tree pose. But first activating the strength. And then set it, lock the inner thigh to the sole of the foot. Press them together. Hands to the heart. Few deep breaths here. You guys are amazing. And we'll bring the right knee forward and then extend the right foot far as you can forward. So a lot of strength in the hips. Sink down through that left leg. And then like a teeter-totter, we're gonna rock the right heel back. Keep the hips to the crown in one line as you rock forward. Hands can stay at the hips or palm to palm, hands at the heart, gaze to the earth. Like we're about to dig deep wells below us. Nice. Hands back to the hip. Bend that left leg and step back into a high crescent lunge. Inhale, hands to the sky. Beautiful. Exhale, rock forward, hands reach in front of you, and then swim the hands back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, swim it back. Strength through that left hip and left leg. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Now we're going to reach forward and use the momentum from the hands, the leverage, and take off with that left leg. So warrior 3 this time with the hands in front of you. Nice. And set the hands down, low lunge. Let's give that hip a nice break. Inhale, left hand high. Come up to the edges of the feet and deepen, stretching out the hips. So it's okay if we're a little bit wobbly, if our transitions are not smooth, because with repetition, our body will start to know what to do, know where to go, and the muscles will be informed, and we'll have more stability in the next rounds. So just notice the first time you do it, and how the second and maybe third time, if we get there, will help increase your stability and strength. Inhale, hands rise, swivel back to the front of the mat. Step that left leg behind you, three-legged dog. And left leg lowers down. Heels sink. Pull the low belly in. Wrap the muscles of the arm in towards the midline. 3 breaths here. Each breath like you're digging that well, going deeper and deeper inside. Nice. Next inhale, we'll lift through that left leg. Exhale, gaze forward. Step the foot all the way through. Lower the hips, but keep the knee lifted. Gaze forward. What is your vision? What are you committed to? And how can you use more boundaries and more structure to get to that goal? Inhale, lift the hips, heels down, lengthen the torso. Squeeze the inner thighs together and pull the front heel towards the back toes. And now relax. Slight lightness in the left knee. Step the right foot to meet the left, forward fold. Breathe in. Breathe out. Sink the hips towards the heels. Inhale, hands lift. Sinking deep into chair. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands over the heart and to the hips. Shift that weight into the right foot. Lift the knee over the ankle so it's parallel to that hip. And if you're popping out to the right side, hug the hips in and press the weight into the ball mount of the foot and the heel equally. Nice. Slide it to the left and slide it forward. Let's activate the breath. Inhale out. Nice and steady. Not like me. And slide it forward. Last one. Slide it out and slide it forward. And then we'll slide it out and set up for tree pose, but hover for a few moments just to feel the strength and the alignment before you plug the sole of the foot into the inner thigh, creating that lock of strength so we could rise and be fluid at the top. And we often don't think of a tree as Gevurah, but a tree actually has so much majesty and strength about it. And Gevurah can also be translated as a reverence or sustained awe. And if you've ever been to the redwood forest or stand in front of a giant oak tree, you do get that feeling of awe, which is a little bit of fear. And it's a healthy sense of fear for the world, for creation. And that's the inner dimension of Gevurah, is awe of our Creator and awe of this world. So slide the left knee forward and press the left sole of foot in front of you. And then draw the heel behind you, rock forward, keeping the gaze locked downwards. Top of thigh faces the mat. You can keep that left foot flexed or pointed. Steady inhale, steady exhale, and bend that right knee. Step back into a high lunge. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, rock forward, hands come behind you. Inhale, swim the hands to the front. Exhale, send it back. Inhale, hands forward. Keep that right thigh bone plugged into the socket. So there's a swiveling of the pelvis so that it's nice and level. We're planting through the right foot. That left leg is nice and long. One more, reach the hands forward, and then use that as leverage, take off into a warrior three, hands forward. Nice breaths, keep reaching with the fingertips, and then set the fingertips down, sink the hips low. Inhale, right hand reaches, deep twist. Stay here, or if you want a deeper stretch, come onto the edges of the feet, and right hand can fall down. So the hips are a great example. For healthy hips, we need strength-based practices, and we also need the restoration and the stretching afterwards. It's a great feel when you first strengthen and then you sweeten. Inhale, hand up, wrap it around to the front of the mat. And step that right foot behind you, extend long, three-legged dog. Stabilize through the pelvis, but reach long through the right toes. And exhale, set the foot down, we'll rock forward to plank. Lower halfway, Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, lift it up, peel it back. 3 breaths. Let's go now. Breath to movement. Try to listen to your own body. Go at your own rhythm. I'd even encourage you to have a notebook next to you. And if anything arises, any wisdom or information, go ahead, pause the video, jot down. This is supposed to be a self-reflective practice as a way for you to go inwards into your body. So let's begin. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, look forward. Step it through. Sink the hips, gaze forward. Inhale, see the vision. Exhale, hips up and back, straighten. Lighten the knees, step left foot forward. Roll forward, bowing through the spine. And then sink the hips, chair pose. Palm faces palm. Shoulders plug into the sockets. Descend through the hips. And then reach up and high. Hand to the hip, right knee forward. Just one time, slide it out. Slide it forward. Straighten through that right leg. And we'll rock it back. So we're skipping tree pose during this flow to keep it moving. Gaze forward. Steady the breath. Wondering what wells of water are beneath you. Soften through that left knee. Step it back. High lunge. Inhale. Exhale. Sweep hands back. Strengthen through the left leg. Inhale. Hands circle forward. Exhale, send it back. Inhale, forward. Let's take off warrior 3 with hands extended. 1, inhale. And exhale, hands lower, sink the hips. Nice twist to the left. Outer edges of the feet, nice hip stretch. Soften, sweeten, because when we have boundaries, when we have strength and structure, we are given pockets of sweetness because we have created the structure for it. Inhale, sweep hands up and around. Kick that left leg back, 3-legged, and float the left foot down, rock forward. Let's take a vinyasa, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog, reach through the crown. Exhale, lengthen the spine. Hug the arm bones into the midline. Inhale, steady. Exhale, steady. Inhale, left leg rises high. And step it through. Look forward. Sink the hips. Shoulders push back. And straighten the legs. Lengthen over that left leg. Toes are pointing forward. And then lighten the knees, step forward, hold. Inhale. Chair pose. Exhale, rise. Hands to hips. Left knee lifts. Slide it open. Gaze forward. Knee slides forward. And then straighten that left leg in front of you. and begin to rock it back. You know where to go. Come forward. Stabilize. Keep your vision strong. Channel your energy. Focus. And lightly bend the right knee. Step back, high lunge. Exhale, hands back. And we'll do 2 sweeps here. Inhaling forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Keep the hands in front of you. Strengthen through that right leg. And fly forward. So we talk about Chesed as light. Light that can dissipate. Light that can be expelled everywhere. But Gevurah is like a laser beam. Hands down. Sink the hips. Twist to the right. Come onto the edges of the feet. Lower. So a laser beam has light, but it is focused light. It is channeled and directed light. So that is what we are cultivating when exploring our Gevurah qualities. Inhale, hand rises, come to the front of the mat. Slide right foot back, plank. Let's do a Gevurah check-in. Where is there excess Gevurah? Where can I soften? Around the lips and eyes. Maybe in the breath, maybe in the toes. Where can I engage more muscular energy and strengthen? Inhale and exhale halfway down. Lift on up, pressing heart forward. Exhale, hips up and back. Let's do an open mouth exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh. Letting it out. We really are here to balance our energies. So it's up to you to realize if you have an excess amount of Gevurah already, if you're already self-disciplined, if you maybe tend to be critical of yourself or harsh, it's a practice to be more gentle. For you, being soft and kinder, more gentle is going to balance you out. Let's bring the knees down, tuck the toes, come into a child's pose, forehead to the mat. If you tend to sweep to the side of Chesed and you're already maybe overly easy on yourself or tend to be lazy, then bringing in some more Gevurah practices like repetition, interval training, even Ashtanga, Bikram yoga, or more competitive sports are really going to harness the Gevurah energy. So it's about a balance. And of course, we can bring all of it on our mat and explore these energies right here. So take a few deep breaths, preparing for our last round of repetition here in that same flow. And before we go into the flow, let's take this few moments before to visualize the flow in our mind. And the power of this practice of visualization helps us harness our focus and energy into the task we are about to do. So pose by pose, notice, think about what you are about to do, starting with the right side and then the left side. Inhale, let's lift up with presence, with focus. Peel the hips back. We'll start with the right foot. Inhale, lift it high. Exhale, step it through, lower the hips, gaze forward. Exhale, hips up and back, set it down. Lighten the knees, step it forward, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, send it up, hands to the heart. Hands to the hips. Inhale, right knee lifts. Exhale, swivel. Inhale, forward. Exhale, straighten. And then rock it behind you. Torso levels out. And bend the knees, step the right foot back. High lunge. Exhale, sweep the hands back. Sink into that left knee. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Last one. Inhale, fingertips forward. And press off with the right foot. Warrior three, hands in front of you. Beautiful. And bring the hands down. Low lunge. Right hand into the mat. Inhale. Twist to the left, to the side of Gevurah. Outer edges of the feet, sink it down. Palm behind you. Inhale, reach it up. Rock it forward. Gaze in front of you. Palms press into the earth. Send the left foot back. And exhale, float it down. Heels lower. You may have noticed that just visualizing what we did before doing it gave you so much more accuracy and strength, and perhaps even more calmness, knowing what you are going to do step by step. Let all the exhale out. And other side, inhale, left leg high. Last side, let's do it with purpose. Step it through, gaze forward. Inhale, heart forward, and exhale, straighten the legs, sink it down. Light in the left knee, right foot meets left, fold. Inhale, chair, and exhale, rise. Hands to the heart, and hands to the hips. Shift onto that right foot, lift through the left knee. Last side, open it up. Feel that outer hip engage. Inhale forward and press that foot in front of you. Rock it back like a teeter-totter. And as the left heel reaches behind you, the crown reaches forward. And here you are, exactly where you visualized. Just like Miriam knew she would have a baby brother, Moshe, that would redeem the Jewish people. And she did everything she could to make sure the prophecy would unfold. And she ended up leading the Jewish people in song with tambourines at the splitting of the sea. Bend the right knee, step the left foot back. Inhale, hands high. And so when you have the vision and you stick to it, like Miriam, you can celebrate the redemption when it happens. And it will happen. So reach high. Exhale, float it back. Inhale, sweep it forward. Exhale behind you. And inhale forward. Take off with the left foot. Last warrior three. feeling the strength that you have cultivated, all with the power of your mind. Hands lower, left foot lowers. You know where to go. Twist to the right, outer edges, release the hand. Inhale up and over. Slide the right foot back, extend it into three-legged dog. And set it down. Rock forward, lower towards the mat. Inhale, open. Breathe in. Exhale, down dog. Now let's bring those toes closer together, just like we started with. Take the right hand, twist to the left. Bring it across, wrap it around the shin. Gaze to the side of Gevurah. And the element of Gevurah is fire. So feeling that warmth, that heat, and that passion that the fire element brings. Set the hand down. Wrap the left arm around the right shin. Pull it to the right. Where in our life could we use more of this fire and activate more heat? Press palms in front of you. We're going to visualize this move before we do it. Close the eyes. Imagine yourself bending into the knees and hopping to the front of your mat, landing in a seated, crossed position. So as you jump, you'll cross the legs. Visualize it first. Breathe in. And exhale, hop and cross to the front. How much better was that? Even if you fell, even if you didn't do that so articulately, keeping that visualization for practice is going to get you to your goal much quicker and much more efficiently. So let's bring the legs in front of us. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, forward. Sink over the front legs. And keeping the Gevurah contraction, so navel in, inner thighs zipping together, flexing the feet, and the rest of us can soften. So the spine folds, the shoulders drop, and the eyes soften. And just like Yitzhak, Miriam was also connected to wells, because in the desert, the Jewish people were satiated through Miriam's well in merit of her, of keeping her vision. It was because of Miriam that Hashem gave the miracle of the well. And actually when Miriam passed, the well dried up. And it said that today the well, the waters of Miriam dissipated, and we can receive its healing waters somewhere in the Kinneret. So we still have access to the energy of Miriam. And Miriam was the leader of the Jewish woman. Let's lift up on an inhale. Draw the left foot to the inner thigh. Slide the left hand over the right heel and gaze to the right. So the qualities of Miriam beckon ourselves to think about what our leadership qualities are and how can we strengthen our leadership. And that takes a lot of Gevurah. So in your pocket of the world, in your community, how can you be a Miriam of your generation? Twisting a little deeper to the right. And then lifting up, sliding the hand over, right fingertips behind you, twist over that right shoulder. Nice. And bring that right hand to the inside of the foot, left fingertips up and over, gazing to that left side, drawing strength from the left side. And come back to center. Let's switch legs. Right sole of foot plugs into the inner thigh, flex the left foot. Slide right hand down over the ankle, left hand to the sacrum as you twist towards the left and deepen over the left leg. Also gazing to the left here. The color, the Sefirot color corresponding with Gevurah is, you may have noticed, red, also gold. So I tried to bring red and golds into your view here. But a Kabbalistic exercise of also drawing more Gevurah into your life is just by wearing red. And if you want to go deeper, visualizing red space, yourself entering into red space. And the Kabbalists would use this visualization to bring more Gevurah to balance their energies. Slide the hand up, left fingertips behind you, gaze over the left shoulder. And then bring the feet nice and wide, walk the hands forward. And let's bring some Gevurah into the torso. So if you can extend the arms long and keep the torso lifted, and then go as deep and forward as you can. So holding the strength, and then soften down. So red represents that element of fire and passion and heat. And also the negative side of it, which is connected to Esav, the man of red, is blood and murder, and obviously too much Gevurah can be channeled in the wrong direction. So a healthy amount of red can encourage us to really balance our Hesed with our Gevurah. And in terms of our relationships with others, we need a healthy sense of outbound giving and also introspecting and being internal and restricting ourselves. So if there's too much Hesed, it is just not a healthy relationship, as you may come to realize. And with our relationship with God, we also need love and fear. They are the two wings of every mitzvah. Ahava and Yirah. Let's raise all the way up and lower onto the back. Bring the knees to the chest. And right now we are practicing in the holy Yerushalayim. And in the name Yerushalayim, we have the words Yirah, which is awe, this quality of Gevurah, and Shalem, a complete awe. So close your eyes and think about something or someone that brings you this feeling of sustained reverence, of awe, majesty. Bring them to your mind. And we'll cross the right knee over the left. Hug the knees to the chest and then hold on to the ankles and pull them apart and down towards the mat. Noticing how this feeling of awe shows up in your mind and in your heart. And when we can have awe towards something physical in this world, such as gazing at a mountain or seeing a person that you deeply admire, like a musician or a politician you love or a Rebbe, then we can begin to expand that awe into fear of God, to reverence to our Creator. We'll take the knees and just soften them over to the left, gaze over the right shoulder. Squeezing the thighs towards each other, drawing the right shoulder to the mat, lengthening through the hands. What brings you this healthy sense of awe? Can we contemplate this more often so that we can begin to extend the sensitivities towards the divine? Let's rock back to the center. Switch the left knee on top, over right, hug knees to the chest, and then hold on to the ankles, spread them apart, and then sink them down as the back body settles and deepens into the earth. Close the eyes. Bring back this image of someone or something that brings you total awe. Maybe standing in front of an ocean. Maybe seeing someone that you deeply admire. Breathe in this feeling of Gevurah into the body. And then drop the knees to the right side, extend over that left arm. Draw left shoulder blade towards the mat. Open the palm, extend the fingers. Close the eyes. Notice the sensations inside. Notice the strength you have cultivated. Just showing up on your mat and practicing is an indicator that you have a healthy amount of Gevurah to get here, to practice, to take care of yourself. Self-care, routines, and ritual are all qualities of Gevurah. Let's roll back to center and extend the feet in front of you, opening the palms, coming into a final relaxation. So take a few minutes to get comfortable, a few moments, not a few minutes. If you have that amount of time, of course, take a few minutes. Otherwise, just settle in a nice position. Coming to the center, away from the chaos of the world, into your inner being. And visualizing behind the blackness of the eyes closed, a red or gold space. Seeing that color in your mind's eye. And somewhere in the body, perhaps, that needs more of this strength and muscle and workout. Bring this red color and wash it over that part of the body. Maybe it's the core, or the legs, or even in the mind. Let's bring some color healing by just splashing it over the areas of your life that you need more Gevurah. And also, in this final few moments, we will call in our ancestor Miriam, the embodiment of Gevurah, to join us. Bring her energy and fuse it with your own. If you have a question that's unresolved, or a difficulty you're going through right now. Bring in Miriam and ask her this question, as if she's walking into your life and taking a glimpse of your struggle. Show her the struggle. You don't have to use words, you can just show her. As if she's peeking into your brain, into your life. She is available for us all to tap into as our matriarch, as a prophetess. And simply surrender. What would Miriam show you? As if she's coming into your body and showing you how to walk through this difficult situation or question step by step. Let her into your body and let her show you what it is that you need to do. I don't want to rush anyone, so stay here in final relaxation with Miriam for as long as you need. And I bless you to have a strength-filled, purpose-filled day. Thank you for practicing.